You ever look at your dog, head cocked to the side, and think, I wish I knew what you were thinking right now? Well, guess what? Your dog's been trying to tell you all along. They've got this whole symphony of sounds, from barks to whimpers to those hilarious little huffs, and each one means something different. We're diving deep into the world of dog communication to decode those mysterious noises. We're talking 9 common sounds, their secret meanings, and how to tell if your furry friend needs a belly rub or a trip to the park. We've consulted with the top dog whisperers out there, veterinarians and canine behaviorists who live and breathe all things dog. Before we break down the 9 sounds dogs make and what they really mean, go ahead and like this video and subscribe. Your dog will totally approve. Alright, let's kick things off with the classic barking. It's like the universal language of dogs, right? But here's the thing, not all barks are created equal. You got your hey, someone's at the door bark, which is usually a sharp, short burst of sound. Then there's the playful bark, like when your pup's got that tennis ball and is just begging you to throw it. And who could forget the I'm bored out of my furry mind bark? You know, the one, that incessant rhythmic yap that could drive a saint crazy. But here's the thing, guys. Even though barking can be annoying sometimes, it's important to remember that it's just your dog's way of communicating. They're not trying to annoy you, well, maybe a little when they want that treat. They're trying to tell you something. So next time your furry friend starts barking up a storm, take a second to listen. Now let's move on to the next sound. Next up we got the whine. It's that unmistakable sound that can tug at your heartstrings or drive you up the wall. You know that sound, the one that starts low and mournful and just sort of trails off? Yeah, that one. It's almost like they're trying to tell you a sad story. Now sometimes whining is just your dog being a drama queen. They might be exaggerating their feelings just to get your attention, like, oh, you're not giving me all the bacon? The injustice. It's their way of saying, how could you do this to me? But other times, whining can be a sign that something's up. It's not always about being dramatic. Maybe your pup's feeling anxious or they're in pain, or maybe they just really need to go potty. It could be a genuine cry for help. The point is, whining is your dog's way of saying, hey, pay attention to me, something's not right. It's their form of communication. So how do you tell the difference between a drama queen whine and a genuine cry for help? It's not always easy, but it's important. Well, it's all about context. Look at the situation and the dog's overall behavior. If your dog's whining suddenly started, and they're showing other unusual behaviors like pacing, panting, or loss of appetite, it's time to call the vet. These could be signs of something more serious. Better safe than sorry, right? Always trust your instincts when it comes to your furry friend. Now let's move on to a sound that's sure to send shivers down your spine. The howl. Alright, we're getting into some seriously primal territory now. Howling. It's the sound that echoes through the ages, connecting our domesticated puppers to their wild wolf ancestors. Now you might think howling is just for huskies and malamutes, but the truth is, almost any dog can howl. It's in their DNA. So why do dogs howl? Well, it's all about communication, baby. Think of it like a long-distance dog call. They're saying, hey, I'm over here, where are you? Or maybe they're just belting out a canine opera for the entire neighborhood to enjoy. Now some folks think howling is a bad omen, but that's just superstition, right? It's just your dog expressing themselves. So next time you hear your furry friend howling at the moon, don't freak out. Speaking of primal instincts. This next sound is serious business. We're talking about growling. Now I know what you're thinking. Growling? That's bad, right? It sounds scary and aggressive. That means my dog's about to bite. And yeah, sometimes you'd be right. A growl can definitely be a warning sign that your dog is feeling threatened or scared and might lash out. But here's the thing. Just like with the other sounds we've talked about, context is key. Sometimes a growl is just a dog's way of saying, hey, back off. I'm not comfortable with this. It's their way of setting boundaries, like a furry little bouncer for their personal space. Now if you see your dog growling, the best thing to do is give them space. Don't try to pet them or, heaven forbid, punish them for growling. That's just going to make things worse. Instead, try to figure out what's making them uncomfortable and remove them from the situation. Remember, growling is a form of communication. It's their way of telling you something's not right. So listen to them, respect their space, and address the issue calmly. By doing this, you'll help your dog feel safer and more secure. Now, let's lighten the mood a bit with our next sound. Ah, sighing. It's the universal sound of contentment, am I right? And guess what? Dogs do it too. That's right, those big, soulful sighs aren't just for us humans. Our furry friends have mastered the art of the sigh as well. But what does it mean when your dog lets out a big, heavy sigh? Well, usually it's a good thing. It means they're relaxed, comfortable, and feeling totally blissed out. It's like that feeling you get when you finally kick off your shoes after a long day and just sink into the couch. Pure doggy zen, right there. Of course, just like with us, a sigh can sometimes mean something else. If your dog's sigh is accompanied by other behaviors like restlessness or pacing, it could be a sign that they're feeling anxious or stressed. But hey, most of the time, a sigh is just a sigh. Now let's move on to a sound that's sure to make you smile. Alright, we're getting into some seriously adorable territory now, folks. We're talking about huffing. You know that sound, that little puff of air that dogs sometimes let out through their nose? It's like a mini sneeze, but cuter. Now, huffing can mean a few different things, but usually it's just your dog's way of getting your attention. It's like they're saying, hey you, yeah you, I'm over here, pay attention to me. Or maybe they're trying to tell you something important like, excuse me, but my water bowl is looking a little empty. Or, can we please play fetch now? The point is, huffing is usually a good sign. It means your dog is comfortable enough with you to communicate their needs in a non-threatening way. So next time your furry friend lets out a little huff, give them a scratch behind the ears and see what they need. We're getting into some seriously soulful sounds now. We're talking about baying, that long drawn-out howl that's music to the ears of any hound dog lover. Now baying is most common in scent hounds like beagles, basset hounds, and bloodhounds. These dogs were bred to track prey using their incredible sense of smell, and baying is their way of communicating with their human hunting partners. It's like they're saying, hey, I'm on the trail of something, follow me. But even if your dog isn't a scent hound, they might still bay from time to time. Just like with howling, baying can be a way for dogs to express excitement, boredom, or even anxiety. So if your furry friend starts belting out a baying serenade, take a minute to figure out what's going on. Now let's move on to a sound that's sure to melt your heart. Get ready for a serious dose of cuteness overload because we're talking about yipping. Now yipping is most common in puppies, but even adult dogs can't resist letting out a little yip every now and then. It's that high-pitched, almost squeaky sound that just screams, I'm happy, let's play! Yips are usually a sign of excitement, playfulness, and pure, unadulterated joy, Like when you were a kid and you saw the ice cream truck coming down the street? Yeah, that kind of joy. But yipping can also be a way for puppies to communicate with their mothers. It's their way of saying, hey mom, where are you? I'm hungry, I'm cold, I'm scared. All the important stuff. So next time you hear your furry friend let out a yip, get ready for some serious fun. Grab a toy, head to the park, and let your inner puppy run wild. Trust me, you won't regret it. We've reached the final sound on our list, groaning. Now, before you start worrying that your dog is in pain, let me assure you that most of the time, groaning is totally normal. It's a common sound that dogs make, and it can mean a variety of things. It's just your dog's way of saying, that feels good. Or I'm so sleepy. Sometimes it's their way of expressing pure contentment, especially when they're getting a good scratch or snuggling into their favorite spot. Like when you're drifting off to sleep and you let out a little sigh of contentment. Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's a small but significant sign that your dog is feeling safe and secure. Dogs often groan when they're settling down for a nap, getting comfortable in their bed, or just enjoying a good scratch behind the ears. It's their way of communicating their comfort and happiness to you. It's their way of showing you that they're relaxed, happy, and feeling totally loved. When you hear that groan, it's a little reminder that your dog trusts you and feels at home. Of course, just like with any other sound, if your dog's groaning is accompanied by other unusual behaviors like limping, loss of appetite, or lethargy, it's always best to err on the side of caution and give your vet a call. These could be signs of something more serious, but hey, most of the time a groan is just a groan. So next time you hear your furry friend let one out, give them an extra cuddle and enjoy the moment. It's one of those simple joys of having a dog. So there you have it. 9 common sounds dogs make and what they really mean. From barks to whines to those adorable little huffs, your dog has been trying to communicate with you all along. It's like having a furry little translator right there in your living room. Now that you know what your dog's been saying all along, you'll never hear them the same way again. You'll be able to tell if they're feeling playful, anxious, or just plain hungry. And who knows? You might even be able to teach them a few new tricks now that you speak their language. The video's right here on screen. Give it a tap and let your dog do the talking.